Hi everyone, I'm Kevin Elson. Here's a look at what's going on this week in the news. We begin with news from the Vatican. On May 20th, Pope Francis announced that he would make 14 new cardinals for the church on June 29th. The new cardinals hail from Iraq, Spain, Italy, Poland, Pakistan, Portugal, Peru, Madagascar, Japan, Mexico, and Bolivia. Rome Reports takes a look at some of the newly named cardinals.
At the end of his Regina Caeli prayer on Pentecost Sunday, Pope Francis announced he would name 14 new cardinals in a June 29th consistory. The new cardinals represent countries around the world and include Pedro Barreto, Archbishop of Huancayo, Peru, Iraqi prelate Chaldean Patriarch Luis Rafael Sacco, and Joseph Coots from Pakistan will also be named cardinals. They represent the plight of persecuted Christians and those in the Middle East, which the Pope mentioned in his prayer.
La Pentecoste ci porta col cuore a Gerusalemme. Ieri sera sono stato spiritualmente unito alla veglia di preghiera per la pace che ha avuto luogo in quella città santa per gli ebrei, cristiani e musulmani. E oggi continuiamo a invocare lo Spirito Santo perché susciti volontà e gesti di dialogo e di riconciliazione in Terra Santa e in tutto il Medio Oriente.
One Vatican official to be named cardinal is Archbishop Konrad Krajewski, the almoner of Papal Charities, who commonly helps the homeless in Rome. There are also two from the Roman Curia, Luis Ladaria, the prefect of the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith, and Giovanni Becciu, who's the substitute of the Secretary of State in the Vatican.
After the consistory on June 29th, Pope Francis will have created almost half the voting cardinals. In news from around the world, voters go to the polls in Ireland on May 25th to vote on a referendum on whether to remove the Eighth Amendment, which was passed in 1983 and gives unborn children an equal right to life with due regard to the life of the mother. Should the referendum pass, Minister for Health Simon Harris has announced plans to allow abortion on demand up to 12 weeks, up to 24 weeks on unspecified grounds for the health of the mother, and up to birth where the child is diagnosed with a life-limiting condition that means he or she may not live long after birth. Bishops throughout Ireland use Pentecost Sunday Masses to make a final appeal for people to reject the government proposal. In a message read at Masses across the Archdiocese of Armagh, Northern Ireland, which includes parts of the Irish Republic, Archbishop Eamon Martin urged worshippers to be missionaries for the cause of life. He appealed to voters to think of the life of the mother and the life of her baby, two hearts beating, two lives which are both precious and deserving of compassion and protection. In Dublin, Archbishop Diarmuid Martin had asked parishes to hold a special time of prayer for the protection of life. Many parishes held holy hours, and a message from the Archbishop was read at Masses. Voting runs May 25th from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., and results are expected on May 26th. Back to the Vatican, the Pope's message for World Mission Sunday has been released. This year's message is titled, "Together with Young People, Let Us Bring the Gospel to All." In the message, Pope Francis said that having the Synod of Bishops in Rome in October, which is the month of the missions, will prove to be one more occasion to help us become missionary disciples, ever more passionately devoted to Jesus and his mission to the ends of the earth. The Pope went on further to say that to share in the mission to the ends of the earth demands the gift of oneself and the vocation that God, who has placed us on this earth, chooses to give us, which he said is why it is so important young people seek, discover, and persevere in his or her vocation. World Mission Sunday will be celebrated this year on October 21st. And finally in the news, at an ordinary public consistory at the Vatican on May 19th, it was announced that Pope Francis will declare Blesseds Oscar Romero, Paul VI, and 4 other saints on October 14th during the meeting of the World Synod of Bishops. It has been a long road to canonization for Archbishop Romero, who was assassinated on March 24th, 1980, one day after calling on the government to end its violation of the human rights of El Salvador's people.
Gloria Patri.
The time has finally arrived when we know where and when Monsignor Oscar Romero will be canonized.
Die quarto decimo mensis October, anno vis millennium duodecimo, in Sanctorum album referantur.
The bishops of El Salvador thank Pope Francis for his driving force behind the process. They also show their joy to soon see his official title as saint, even though many had already considered him Saint Romero of America.
Representé al país esta mañana, era el único salvadoreño. Lo oí primero que todos, incluso primero que ustedes, ¿verdad? Y eso es un privilegio extraordinario. El Papa me invitó personalmente, lo pude saludar junto al secretario de Estado hoy. ¿Qué más podemos pedir? Y luego ver a los cardenales tan contentos, acercarse a mí y felicitarme y decirme cosas de Romero que yo no sabía. Eso uno lo llena de gozo, de gratitud y de emoción. Así que fue una mañana inolvidable. Está abierta otra posibilidad, a ver qué dice el Vaticano de la idea de que el Papa pase por El Salvador cuando vaya rumbo a Panamá. Eso está por platicarse, lo que sé que la idea les ha gustado aquí. Eso ya salió como noticia, así que lo puedo repetir, y es verdad, la idea les ha gustado. Y al Papa también le ha gustado, así que veremos si es posible tener esa dicha el próximo año en El Salvador, el Papa con nosotros.
It's been a long process. The diocesan phase of his beatification cause began in 1994. It ended in 1996, and then the process went to Rome. In the Vatican, the cause was halted for a long time. Benedict XVI tried to unblock it in the last part of his pontificate, but it was Pope Francis who gave the final push.
The other soon-to-be saint, Blessed Paul VI, who was Pope from 1963 to 1978, presided over the final sessions of the Second Vatican Council and its initial implementation. He also wrote Humanae Vitae, a 1968 encyclical on married love. The other men and women to be canonized include Father Francesco Spinelli of Italy, founder of the Sisters Adorers of the Blessed Sacrament, Father Vincenzo Romano, who worked with the poor of Naples, Mother Catherine Casper, the German founder of the Poor Handmaids of Jesus Christ, and Nazaria Ignacia March Mesa, the founder of the Congregation of the Missionary Crusaders of the Church. Well, that is all the information we have for you at this time. I'm Kevin Elson. Don't forget, you can keep up to date on Catholic news throughout the week with Catholic Newsbreak right here on the Catholic TV Network.